We're heading off to Walton Lakes, 400 fish, plus 5.5 acres, really small, really intimate, and best of all, we're going to be the only ones on there when we show up. The Walton Lakes, which is in Glastonbury, one of the most historical places in all of England, one of the most historically significant places in all of England. The legend of King Arthur supposedly takes place in Glastonbury. Maybe we can pull more than just Excalibur from the water. Let's go. Captain Disaster and Boy Blunder strike again. We're on our way now to Glastonbury to head up to Walton Lakes. We see a friend of ours, Sean Pierce. Shut up, we're doing a film bit. And our friend Sean is you know, on our side here. We go to wait till I look out the window and we have our rods on the roof right now. And I can see one full rod sleeve is hanging off with the net just dangling in the wind, and I'm like panicking. I'm like, Paul, pull over, Paul. It was pretty scary.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. But we pulled over, we got it back up now, and we're en route. How much longer, Paul? What is that? An hour?
Hour's drive. Yeah.
About an hour now. An hour away from Glastonbury. We should arrive just after 11, and then we can get set up. We can have a walk around the lake. The whole lake to ourselves, man. The whole lake to ourselves. That's a good way to start it off, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we don't have to worry about any naughties around. We'll see you when we get there. We're here. Walton Ponds. Cracking looking lake. Love it. Here's the main lake.
Fish one rod, two rods that side, one that side.
If you really wanted to, yeah.
I like it. Oh, I like that.
Hello. A lot of bubbles out here right now. This is a really good sign. Nice breeze coming in as well. Lovely. As Danny Fairbrass would say, this mix is proper munga. And I'm gonna put in a ton. Apparently this small spit of water of 5.5 acres has some 400 fish in it. I reckon if we're the only ones on here, we should be able to put them all on our side of the lake. And I might be able to put at least half of them under that tree. So we're gonna load it up. We got 2mm trout pellet, hemp, cracked corn, whole corn, chili flake, the whole 9 yards. It is quite a jambalaya of deliciousness. Proper carpy. And yeah, it's the water, nice little bit of milk. That's what we want to see. Right on mine. Day one at Walton Fisheries. And Paul's making us up a curry right now, I think. Hey, Paul?
Yep. I told you I was earlier on.
You're a cheeky brother. People at home don't know that, though. Come on now. As you can see, Paul's in a right cheery mood. Look at that beautiful sunset. Well, maybe 10 minutes ago, I had a decent looking fish actually breach right over top of my swim. I'm fishing up tight to that willow tree there. And in the middle here, in this little bay between the willow tree and that fallen sort of mangrove, I've got a rod in there as well. And I've got one way over there by that willow tree as well. And running 3 different baits. Paul's doing the same thing. We're just trying different tactics to see what's really going to get that first bite. And then if it continues to get bites, then we'll switch all the rods over. Pretty standard tactic. But yeah, nothing yet. had a couple of bumps. Paul just had a really convincing bump on a rod he's got set up with naturals on it right now. Some fish definitely was looking at that, I'd say, or definitely rubbed his tail along the line. He's nearby anyway. And I think they're actually starting to put their noses down. I think when we showed up here, they were actually basking in the sun. We caught a few fish you actually would have seen swimming along the surface, which was pretty neat. So maybe tomorrow we get out the zigs and the floating baits, eh, Paul?
What?
Probably tomorrow we get out the zigs and the floating
Absolutely,
baits.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely give it a go. I mean, if they're going to take off the surface, what an exciting way to have them. But we're going to have our curry, try to warm ourselves up, and take in the scenery, take in the beautiful Walton fisheries. What a beautiful pond. Well, it's nightfall now at Walton. The fish have been showing themselves pretty well all day, making their presence known, but definitely not down by the rig end. There's been little to no indications on the alarms, and nothing on the bobbins, of course. So at this point in time, we figure that the morning might be when they really turn on, and we could have a few. The bailiff has also kind of hinted to this, as you can clearly see by how misty this video is. It's quite foggy out right now. Sort of rolled in just as the sun was setting. It got really cloudy in a hurry, and it's a bit of a cool wind too. But I think it means we're going to at least be able to get a good night's sleep if this fog definitely pushes the fish off for the night. We can sleep well, get well rested, and be back at it again in the morning. Of course, if there is action, we'll be sure to get the cameras on. But at this point in time, it is beautiful. There's no sounds of traffic. It's really just the odd farm truck. Lots of wildlife around here. Absolutely pristine. Well, we didn't have our hopes terribly high. We were told that the fish really don't respond when a big fog like this kind of rolls in. You could probably barely see me right now, mind you. But I've got something on here, and it's a stick.
Fantastic.
What the f***? No wonder it felt so small.
Did it fight well?
Fought like a stick roll. That was a screaming run, Paul.
It was a screaming run. You wouldn't
So-
have thought a stick could run like that, mate. Over and out.
Boy blunder strikes again. I don't think I don't have any words really. Paul, how hard was that run?
Absolute screamer, Will.
And what did I set into again? What was it? A piece of bramble?
Yeah, it was a good 3 foot long though, to be fair.
So, unfortunately, we're not allowed to use even micro barbed hooks on here. We're using barbless, and I think that's what actually contributed to that. Set the hook into it, and yeah, there was nothing there. Well, I thought there was something there. Brought it all the way to the net to swing in some branches. What a kick in the head. Whatever. Put it right back on the same spot, put a little method ball on it, and with any luck, we'll be able to have another opportunity. It's always the worst to drop and lose the first fish. Oh, I'd rather lose the second, the third, the millionth. You know, losing the first one, just, it gets you. It really does. But fingers crossed, we'll have some more updates for you soon. It's been really slow. It's been a really slow 24 hours here at Walton. We've had a couple of indications here and there. We've been seeing the fish rolling along the margin on the far side in the cattails and in the bulrushes, but there has been next to nothing since that blistering run I had last night around 8 o'clock. It's kind of hard to believe that there's 400 fish in here. But according to the bailiffs, they're only just waking up. Gentlemen on the other side of the lake, some people showed up last night. They had a 19-pound 8. Went and spoke with them about it. Said that fought very lethargically. Very typical of a fish that's only just waking up out of its winter slumber. It's the warmest day of the whole week that I've been here. And with any luck, some of that heat might find its way down to those fish, wake them up, and they'll be able to find some of our particles and some of our free offering boilies. Still got rigs on there that I feel really confident in. With any luck, we'll be off soon. Well, as you can see, another stunning sunset here in Glastonbury at Walton Carp Lake. Still sitting here, awaiting that first fish. Don't want to sound too doom and gloom yet, but I'm wondering if that one run I had was the only chance I was ever going to get. We've cast in the rods for what will probably be the last time tonight, unless we have some action. We're not going to bother moving again. But Paul and I are quite befuddled. We're told there's a significant head of fish in here, and we just can't seem to find them. We can't seem to sort it out. Out in this bay over here, over my shoulder, we keep seeing carp rolling all along the bulrushes and all along the reeds. But several times today, I put my rig right where I've seen fish crash, left it there for 2-3 hours. Nothing. There hasn't even been a bump on the line. So we know they're moving about. We see them crashing. We see them rubbing up against the reeds. The only thing we can think of at this time is that, sure, they're waking up, but they're just trying to clean off leeches. And if that's the case, then who's to know if they're actually feeding at all? Our rigs are in. Probably going to leave them where they are tonight, unless we get some other indications. So, have some pot noodles, have some biscuits and some coffee or tea, and we'll pack it in for the night. And we'll probably be out of here reasonably early in the morning, unless something keeps us here. Well, it's at some point in the morning. We're not sure what time it is yet. But Paul's middle rod.
Small, I think, but
Doesn't matter. A fish is a fish, Paul. Well, it's not bad. Ooh, double, Paul. Doesn't want to give up though, eh? There it is. Get in that net. Oh, it's in. Yes. Well done, Paul. Awesome. Let's have a look at it. 13 pounds on the nose. Look at that. I think you would have taken even a single though at this point, wouldn't you, Paul?
oh, I do.
What a cracking fish.
I think they're quite a blank saver.
That is a blank saver to start anyway. Still got a couple more hours yet. It's only 12:30 in the morning. Now, you think he's going to cooperate for a photo? What was that? Was that a duck, Paul?
I think I might have been. I think I crawled on one.
Jeez. I'll turn your headlight off there, Paul.
Silly fish.
There it is.
Relax.
Lovely 13-pound Walton Lakes fish.
Try again. There we go.
Oh, he likes that side more. That's his better side, Paul. Lovely fish, man.
That'll do.
That'll do. All right.
Back.
Well, good morning. Another beautiful morning, and the final morning of my UK carp fishing adventure. As you can see behind us here, we're slowly starting the packing up process. Walton was not really that great to either of us. Hey, Paul? They had to work pretty hard for that.
Pretty slow, wasn't it?
It was very slow. Fish are still waking up here in the UK. It's miles ahead of Canada right now, which currently likely has about 6 inches of ice still in some places, or more. So fishing here was far more productive than I would have had in Canada, chipping through 6 inches of ice to find even a single fish. There's nothing we really did wrong, according to the bailiffs. We put the rigs in the right spots. Like, we'd already cast it out. Bailiffs would come around and say, have you got a rig in that spot? Yep, certainly do. Oh, you got a rig over there? Yep, we certainly do, or we certainly had. And they're like, wow, and you're still not pulling them. That's quite bizarre. The weather's been up and down. I mean, it's been kind of an interesting week where the temperatures climbed up significantly. And then, as you saw on the first night, that fog rolled in here on Walton, and it was just like you couldn't have cut it with a knife. It was thick. So, unfortunately, that's just the way that fishing goes. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. I was just really happy that Paul caught. Otherwise, this would be an almost pointless video of us just going for a blank. But Paul, good on you, man. A lovely fish. Cheers to you.
I knew you'd caught it well.
If only. If only I'd have caught that one the night before. That was one hell of a run. What a stick. What a stick. So, we'll be heading back to Paul's shortly, and at which time I'm sure we'll be doing our goodbyes and whatnot. I fly out in the morning. Let's take in that English country air.
Sorry about that, Will.
Oh, that's you, Paul. I was about to go blame Betty the cow over there, but certainly not Paul Oxenham, but Ox, I suppose it's in the name. Cheers. This is Paul's big surprise to me. And I am absolutely blown away. We're at a very small back bay to a bigger lake, and obviously it has warmed up significantly. And we can already see fish on the move on the surface. And plenty more likely are moving along down below. Paul reckons there's a good head of fish in here. And you know what? It is breathtaking here. That cold northeaster that was coming through, can't even feel it really now because of all the trees that we're surrounded by. It feels like we're in the jungle, Paul. This is beautiful. Thank you very much for bringing me here. You're welcome. Let's get fishing. We even have them feeding on the surface here, which is remarkable. It's so early in the season to have fish feeding off the top, but here we are. Watch them take bread flake. There's a pretty big one out there in the center too, you can probably see. Tons of fish in here. Nothing over 7 or 8 pounds, but there's a whole lot of them right now in the margin. We're just being really quiet. All the way down here, there's fish. Unbelievable. What a breathtaking little water. There it is. grab, I'll tell you, for a little fish, Paul. Still one feeding right here. Two of them actually. Tails up, you might be able to see them in the frame here. This fish does not want to give up at all. Stunning little fish this is. I think this thing actually fought harder than my 18-pounder did, Paul. He had the weeds to help him. This fish has got open water. He's absolutely scrapping his nards off. Oh, love a little fawn. Get in there. Oh, isn't he adorable? Let's get him on the pad to have a look. I love it. Look at that. What a beautiful little fish. On the worm. There it is. Hold on a sec. You got it in there. Good, buddy. It's relentless, so it does make sense there. Lovely. Oh, catch that tree above my head. Oh, let's have a look at you then. Get back here, you. What a beautiful little fish. And there's quite a few in here, so I think we should get this one back. Try for another. For a second fish to come across the bit of worm. And this one's just as scrappy as the last. This is an absolute blast on light tackle. I'll tell you what, for their pint size, they must have nitrous in the tank. Little turbo units, look at this. Oh, absolutely chuffed to bits. We got a fish feeding in the margins on some bread there. Wow. Quite a few of them in here. And you see these two right here, tailing up right beside me. Unbelievable. Ready for the net yet? Oh no, you darted right that way now. Just don't give up. It's unbelievable. This is fantastic. You get out of that tree right now. worms alone. They'll be had soon enough. Is that worm still there? Good on you, worm. That's a little bigger than the last one. Just there we go. In the net. I could do this all day. There's a carp feeding right there. I just netted a fish. Well, they don't have to be big to be an absolute blast. What a perfect little common. Look at the tail on it. My goodness, engaged thrusters. Oh, there's gonna be plenty more where this came from. Let's get that rod back out there. As you can see, we still have one feeding out in the center there. We'll see if we can maybe get another crisp one. Get across. Maybe we can take another off the top. Such an exciting way to fish. If you can find a spot where such an opportunity presents itself, I highly encourage you to take it. What an incredible, incredible way to fish. Oh, what an absolutely beautiful little mirror carp. And there's still so many more fish out there to catch. Let's see if we can take a couple more off the top. That was a blast. Hello, sweetheart. It's not my first mirror of the year either. That's pretty neat. Oh, so long, darling. Said it's been years since he had one off the top. Oh, he couldn't have landed that any better. Yeah, there's fish coming in now. There's one right there. 2 or 3 of them, and they're going to come right after that. Come on. Colder. Warmer. Bang on. Yes, Paul. Oh my goodness, this is so much fun. Lovely. Yeah. There he goes. In the net. Another lovely little scaly too, it looks like. Well done, Paul.
Sure, Carp,
Scale perfect.
absolutely lovely.
It's got a turbo thruster on the back too, my god. They scrap like hell, Paul.
Hey, see you again when you're 42.
Yeah. Toodaloo. Back you go, dear. Wonderful. Well in, Paul. What a run. Oh my goodness. literally just went with a tiny bit of method around the worm, right at the top of the hook eye. And figured, you know what, maybe that'll hone them in on a quick bite. And I'll be damned, that thing melted off. If there was an alarm, it would have been a one going, oh my god, look at the size of this little guy. Oh, I feel bad. Get in there. Oh, lovely. Oh, we'll just do this one net side. I think we don't have to take this one to the mat. This one's not great, but it's a beautiful little mirror nonetheless. Come here, sweetie. Thank you, lovey. I love that I can one-hand these. Come here. Another beautiful little mirror. Look at that. That's incredible, Paul. So long, darling. Yes. I think we could do this all day, but I think Paul and I are both fixing for a cider. So we'll see how this plays out. But it feels like a little decent one too. Have a look. Once again, little method ball and half a lobworm. I can't get over this, Paul. This is like a little Garden of Eden, isn't it? Absolutely astounding. He's right in front of me, apparently. I can barely see him. They've clouded up this water so much, it's hard to see anything at all. Relentless, persistent determination. I don't want to see that net. I mean, what a pleasure to be fishing with such a classic setup, like the Cardinal 54. I reckon that's one of the smoothest drags ever invented, Paul.
Definitely.
I think I caught a glimpse of it, and it looks like another beautiful mirror. I could be wrong. Oh. Another glance that actually looks prominent. It is. Oh, it's another common. Oh, not quite, not quite. Get in the net. Yes, sir. Lovely. Well, I think we'll just do this one net side as well. Oh my, where did you put that? grumpy this one as well. Another absolutely gorgeous little common. Made up with that. Paul, you welcomed me to your home, to your cider, and you welcomed me with my first UK carp and probably one of my most memorable little fish sessions. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Will.
Oh, right. Let's go have a cider.